China's President Xi Jinping says no one can stop the unification with Taiwan. He made this strong statement just a short while back during his address to the country in a New Year speech. We now explore and discuss how the prospect of invading Taiwan now seems to be a looming reality, fueled by Beijing's military buildup and President Xi Jinping's unyielding ambition to bring Taiwan under his control. Take a look.
China is tightening the noose around Taiwan. The island is facing ominous signs that the mighty Chinese military may soon invade the island nation. With tensions simmering in the Taiwan Strait, the question isn't if China will act, but how and when. In the last 12 months, Chinese ships have launched multiple drills showcasing its overwhelming military might. These are images from December. Dozens of Chinese warships and other vessels deployed around the island. Around 50 Chinese fighter jets zoomed near its airspace. The warning is loud and clear. Taipei says this was one of China's biggest ever military exercises. In October, China used a record 153 military aircraft in war games around Taiwan. China's strategy is methodical and multi-pronged. US says Beijing's own planning documents show President Xi Jinping has ordered the Chinese military to be ready to take Taiwan by force should efforts to reunify the island by other means fail. The idea was clearly spelt out by the Chinese president.
Realizing the complete reunification of the motherland is the common aspiration of all the sons and daughters of the Chinese nation. And as the essence of national rejuvenation, we must implement the party's overall strategy for resolving the Taiwan issue in the new era.
While Beijing views democratically governed Taiwan as its own territory, a claim the government in Taipei rejects, saying only Taiwan's people can decide their future. Experts point out that the plan for reunification has been set into motion by China.
In recent years, particularly the past 2 or 3 years, military exercises have increasingly reflected Xi Jinping's directive that troops must train where they are expected to fight. These recent drills, whether conducted at sea or in the air, carry a pronounced sense of real combat, readiness and operational intent.
It's very annoying. These incidents keep happening repeatedly. Each time we have to deploy fighter jets for monitoring, which raises concerns about whether the Defense Ministry has the capacity to respond consistently. Or will it eventually become a case of the boy who cried wolf, where frequent occurrences lead to a sense of numbness among the public?
The US is Taiwan's most important backer and biggest supplier of arms, but has long maintained strategic ambiguity when it comes to putting boots on the ground to defend the island. As we step into 2025, China's looming invasion isn't just a battle of troops and technology, it's a political gamble. The costs would be astronomical for all sides, with Taiwan enduring devastation. The US and their allies are forced to take a stand, and China risking internal instability.
What's also certain, though, is the fact that the fighter jets and drones of 2025 promise unparalleled destruction. They are agents of devastation designed to dominate and annihilate. Let's just start off with China's Bedi White Emperor. This 6th-generation stealth jet is a monster in the air. It combines supersonic speeds, a tailless design, and diamond-shaped wings for extreme agility. Equipped with advanced stealth technology, it can even evade detection while carrying a massive internal payload of air-to-ground munitions. What is its mission? To strike hard and fast without leaving a trace. But it's not just a plane, it's a brain. You see, AI powers the Bedi, enabling it to assess threats, choose maneuvers, and even execute missions autonomously. In a war zone, this means faster responses, fewer mistakes, and deadlier outcomes. It doesn't fight alone either. The Bedi syncs seamlessly with China's combat networks, coordinating with other aircraft, ground units, and naval forces. China's drone arsenal is equally terrifying. The WZ-9 Falcon is a stealth drone built to overwhelm defenses. Imagine swarms of these supersonic machines, each armed with precision-guided munitions, descending on an enemy. In a way, this strategy redefines air superiority. Meanwhile, the United States has unleashed the B-21 Raider. This stealth bomber makes its predecessor, the B-2 Spirit, look like ancient history. The B-21, B-21 can launch hypersonic weapons, evade advanced radar, and even operate autonomously. Just picture it raining destruction while remaining invisible in a way. This is not defense, it's pure offense. And then there is Russia's Su-75 Checkmate, a lightweight, cost-effective fighter jet designed for export. It could end up in the hands of multiple nations, wreaking havoc in many battlefields around the world. Russia also recently launched the Sukhoi S-70 Okhotnik B drone, a stealth UAV that's already proven lethal in combat scenarios. Turkey is also making waves. Its Bayraktar Kizil Elma drone merges drone agility with fighter jet firepower. It's fast, heavily armed, and capable of launching from carriers. Turkey's earlier Bayraktar TB2 reportedly had major impact on the conflicts in the Russia-Ukraine war and the Caucasus. Now the Kizil Elma promises to elevate its dominance in drone warfare. India is stepping up with its Ghatak stealth drone. This project symbolizes India's ambition to become a self-reliant military powerhouse. Its stealth capabilities and lethal payloads making it a formidable addition to the global arms race. Overall, these machines are not just innovations. They are more than that, a lot more. They symbolize destruction. Countries are investing billions to make their air forces unstoppable. These technologies don't just fight battles, they win wars. In a no-holds-barred war, these killer machines will not just fight, they will annihilate. So the next global conflict may not just be about boots on the ground, it will be about who controls the skies. Fighter jets and drones are no longer futuristic. They are very much here and they are deadly. The countries that master them will dictate the terms of war and peace. We are starting off with the wars that dominated the headlines in 2024. They may pause in 2025, but the question is, will peace return in our lifetimes? Before these parts of the world even forget what peace looks like? The sheer devastation has resulted in thousands dying in wars. Will the thousands who have lost babies and young husbands and brothers and sisters ever forgive and forget? How are they supposed to turn the page and start a new year? How are they supposed to start afresh? The wounds of Palestine, Israel, Lebanon, Ukraine, Russia are far too deep. The scars will not disappear. These young lives have been shaped by bombings, displacement, the unrelenting trauma of war. Will the present generation ever forgive those who have robbed them of their childhoods, their families, their homeland? Ukraine, once hailed for its resilience, now stands at the brink of an uncertain future. The battlefield depicting a grim picture, to say the least. There are various reports highlighting how Ukrainian troops, once celebrated for all their grit, are now utterly exhausted and devastated by the Russian forces. Earlier this month, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said approximately 43,000 Ukrainian soldiers have lost their lives since the war started, depicting the scale of casualties in this 3-year-long war. The Kremlin does not officially disclose casualty figures, but the figures are likely to be on the scale of casualties in Ukraine. Both sides have used mercenaries or, in Russia's case, sent about 10,000 troops from North Korea, tipping the scales further in Russia's favor in a way, who have reportedly captured over 2,350 square kilometers of territory in eastern Ukraine this year alone and marked key Ukrainian regions like Donetsk, Luhansk, Kherson, Zaporizhia as Moscow's stated objectives for the year 2025. Across 2024, Volodymyr Zelensky repeated pleas to Western allies for more support. Advanced weapons like British Storm Shadow missiles, American ATACMS were supplied to Kiev. Yesterday, the United States announced nearly $6 billion in additional military and budget assistance for Ukraine. As per a Reuters report, in fact, the U.S. Congress has approved $175 billion in total assistance for Ukraine since the war started in February 2022. One reason why the wars might pause is because even allies of Ukraine are exhausted by the continuing demands. But the Ukrainian army reportedly finds itself stretched to the breaking point. Elon Musk, the billionaire entrepreneur who will lead the Department of Government Efficiency in the Trump 2.0 administration, reacted to Joe Biden's recent aid announcement for Ukrainian military aid on the platform X, seemingly mocking Zelensky by calling him, quote-unquote, an all-time champ. Now, his comment perhaps underscores growing frustration levels in America. As per experts, Ukraine is losing this war and Russia's advances have been relentless. The creation of a new map, in a way, with expanded Russian territories, they say, seems inevitable, as Moscow has made it clear that it is determined to redraw Ukraine's borders, cementing its dominance in the region. Will this result in the installation of a pro-Russian president in Kiev in 2025? Perhaps backed by President-elect Donald Trump? When Trump returns to power, it is expected that he will press for a ceasefire settlement that favors Russia.
What should Zelensky, if anything, be prepared to give up to end this war?
He should be prepared to make a deal. That's all. Got to be a deal. No, got to be a deal. Too many people being killed. That is a war that's hard. Too many people. Got to make a deal. And Putin has to make a deal.
What deal?
Do you think Putin has to make a deal? And Putin would have never gone in if I was president.
You see, the implications for Zelensky are dire. His political future, after all, is shrouded in doubt, and many experts are questioning whether he will survive the fallout of what increasingly looks like a lost cause. Trump, remember, has pledged to end the war in 24 hours. Now, let's just turn to West Asia, where the suffering has been profound, to say the least. Major stakeholders, both regional and international, continue to eye territorial gains, vying for control and influence over a region rich in strategic influence. A direct byproduct of this has been a devastating escalation in violence across Gaza, Syria, Lebanon, leaving thousands dead. According to the UN, in Gaza alone, over 45,000 Palestinians have lost their lives. The situation in Syria is also harrowing. As per the Syrian Observatory for Human Rights, at least 4,000 people have lost their lives this year, 2024. According to the Lebanese Health Ministry, the war with Israel has claimed more than 3,000 lives so far. As winter tightens its icy grip, the toll continues to rise. So does the suffering. Thousands of displaced families are now facing death from exposure. In Gaza, where temperatures have plummeted, at least 6 infants have lost their lives due to cold-related illnesses across Gaza this week alone. Imagine that. International aid organizations warn that without immediate intervention, this number could double. It is clear that the human cost in the Russia-Ukraine war and West Asia is staggering. A generation has been lost to war, to conflicts. For the children caught in these wars, the future appears bleak. Ceasefires have been brokered and broken. Civilians continue to pay the ultimate price. This is the year of death, a year that has shattered hopes for peace in both Russia-Ukraine war and West Asia, and the road ahead only appears dark and uncertain as of now, leaving us with the same question. Can peace ever truly return? With no clear path to peace as of now and the conflict escalating on all fronts, the answer seems more elusive than ever. The only certainty in these wars is uncertainty, and that will unfortunately continue into 2025.